in this political climate right now, our community members are going to need our branch.
Welcome to the Jackie Rae Show.
Welcome back to the Jackie Rae Show. I'm Jackie Rae. I am in a new space. It has been a while and I'm so excited to be here. This is Blue Long Beach. It's a creative space brought to you by Dream Creators and Rhonda Love. I'm going to tell you about that more in the coming weeks. But right now I'm excited because I've been promising you this. And as promised, I have Dr. Sharifa Batts, the president of the NAACP Long Beach chapter. You probably know her because I did get a chance to interview her when she was running for District 8. But now we're going to get to know her in a new capacity. And that's really what this is about. Just get to know you. I know her, and so I know that she's amazing and fun. But you don't know that, so I want you guys to know that as well. So welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me today.
Again. Welcome to the show again.
Again, yes. Jackie Rae Show.
This is the new one. This is the new one. Yes, so I'm so glad
that.
I
love
know
it.
It's a cute little sign,
I
right?
know, and it's got pink. I love pink.
Right?
My favorite color.
It. Really? Mine's purple. So, fun fact, you guys might know this. I started it as purple because purple's my favorite color.
Okay.
But it just didn't resonate because I wanted black as well. So the purple and black, like purple was just too dark. So I just kept lightening it until I got it to a point where I liked it, and it was pink.
There you go.
Little backstory
Jackie
on how
Rae
this
Show.
came to be. So again, thank you so much for joining. Let's just go way, way back because one of the reasons why I really, really was rooting for you for District 8 is because you are born and you've been in Long Beach forever. Born and raised?
Born right in the Wrigley area, Long Beach Community Hospital.
It's not rare for me to meet people who are third, fourth generation Long Beachian, as I call them, but it's very rare for me to meet someone who's running for city council who is. So that was very unique for me with you.
Yeah, I was born in the Wrigley area. Come about third grade, my mom and dad, they decided that they were going to move us out to College Park East, which is in Seal Beach. And so I attended school in the Los Alamitos district and graduated from Los Alamitos High School because although we came back to Long Beach and I lived here from the 8th grade on, my mom's like, no, you're going to stay where you are in school, which was probably a good thing, only because you already have your friends, right? And so it's tough on kids when they have to change friends. But the bad thing is that my mom and all her siblings went to Long Beach Poly. So I was like, yes, because we ended up moving off of 10th and Rose. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to Poly because it was at the end of my 8th grade year. So going into high school. And then my mom laid the hammer. No, you're going to stay where you are. So my kids, though, they went through Longfellow, Hughes, and Poly. So I got to still be an active parent at Long Beach Poly.
In your adult life, was there ever a career path that might have taken you out of Long Beach that you just turned down because, this is my home? Or has it always just been LBC for you?
I am a Long Beachian.
Okay.
Let me tell you, I travel for work.
Mm-hmm.
I see all kinds of places across the United States. And there is nothing like Long Beach.
Yeah.
Right? The diversity, the people, the food, the weather, there is nothing like it. And so I have never even considered to leave Long Beach. My husband, he's from Chicago. We met when I was a senior in high school. We just made 30 years being married together. Yes. And he says the same thing. He's like, I can't imagine living anywhere else now.
Yeah. Okay. So what do you do for work?
So I am the head of environment and sustainability at Ports America. So environmental justice is near and dear to my heart when it comes to community, reducing the air quality, the GHG emissions in the air quality so that we can breathe cleaner air, is near and dear to my heart. So I help all the terminals, meet environmental compliance.
Okay. Now, if you guys heard when I introduced her, she is Dr. Sharifa Batts. Yes. What's your doctorate in?
So my doctorate is in business administration.
Oh, wow. Yes. I did not expect that.
What do you think it was?
Because you're an environmental, so I thought it was going to be, I don't know, biology or something. I don't know. I guess I just made that up in my head.
Yeah. After my kids graduated from high school, it was time that I could focus on myself.
Yeah.
Because while they were involved, I was heavily involved in the schools. I was PTSA president, grad night president, putting on teachers' luncheons at all the schools. So once they went off to college, I was like, yay, I get to focus on me. Yeah. And got some professional coaching at work. My job was kind enough to get that for me. And one of the things that was identified was that, well, you don't have an MBA. And I was like, oh, okay, well, cool. Because I wanted to go to school anyway. So applied to Pepperdine, got in, worked on my MBA. And right when I was about to graduate, they just started their inaugural cohort for a doctorate in business administration. And so I was like, oh, this is great. I get to go and apply. I applied, I got in, and then I figured out that I had to select a topic. And at first I was like, oh, I'll pick topic A. And they said, you should really pick something that's near and dear to your heart. So then I said, well, diversity, equity, inclusion, belonging, that is what's near and dear to my heart, and making sure that people are treated fairly. So my research focused on the unique human and social capital contributions of women and minorities, because I did not want to separate the two, and how we influence the performance of an organization and the financial output.
That's fantastic. That's, especially in this climate, that's got to be a huge resource right now for you.
It actually, before the new administration, it was huge, right?
Right.
Let's keep it real.
Right.
But what I found, I just recently submitted an article to the Academy of Management.
Okay.
I didn't think it was going to get accepted because of our climate right now on DE&I, but it did. So I will be the only practitioner scholar that's presenting with some other people from Pepperdine. And it's going to be in Copenhagen, Denmark. And it'll be interesting to hear from others in other countries how diversity, equity, and inclusion is still thriving, yet here in America, you're having organizations that are having to consider how are we going to navigate these uncertain waters right now, which is they're having to remove equity. We're even going through this in my own job right now, where you're having to rebrand because now you're in a situation to where if you're in line for some federal funding, it's going to not be given to the organization. You have nonprofits even here in Long Beach where they're having to analyze and consider how do they go moving forward if they're needing money from the government.
That's disheartening.
No, it is. It is. It is, because we're one.
Right.
We're one community.
Yeah.
You know, we, as I always tell people, when we stand together and we work together, we all rise together as a community, right? Long Beach is so diverse. All of us should be coming together as one. Yeah.
Really should. And I appreciate you saying that, because that's one of the things I've been concerned about, is seeing some, I don't want Long Beach to become like Denver. I know people say Denver is diverse and inclusive. I was born and raised there. That is a lie from the devil. It is not. And so for me, this is my new home. And so I definitely want to make sure it continues to do that. And so when I first met you, when you were doing, your campaign, that's the other thing that I was really proud of you about. People in community, and this is, I think, even though I've covered politics for a long time, I think this was my learning curve, you specifically, because I just assumed everybody knew who you were, because you're in community, you're doing the work, you're showing up for people. And so then when I started talking to people about, who was running for District 8, and they were like, wait, who is, I was like, wait a minute. That's why I called you, and I was like, okay, we've got to change this. People need to get to know you. Why do you think there's a disconnect from people who do such great work in community, but they're not known in the political space? Why do you think there's that disconnect?
That's a great question. I could speak to me and my situation. Like I said, I was heavily involved when it came to the schools.
Right.
And then there was a time where I took a break to go focus on myself for education.
Okay.
And, so that's anywhere from 2 years for the MBA, another 3. So 5 years, basically you're out of commission.
Right.
I'm still doing things in the community because I'm part of Beta Pi Sigma sorority Tau chapter.
Yeah.
And we do a lot in the community, but that's the name, Beta Pi Sigma Tau chapter. It's not Sharifa.
Gotcha.
Right. So no one is not I heard so many times, oh, Dr. Batts, nobody knew who you were. Oh, nobody knew who you were. And I'm just like, well, that's understandable.
Right.
Because one, I'm not doing things to get recognition. We're just here to help the community where there's a need, right? Where there's a gap. And so when I was running for office and you said that, and I was like, well, I kind of get it. I get it. And until people highlight you and continue to put your name out there for you and what you're specifically doing, then people won't necessarily know who you are. They may know who the organizations are that you're doing things for, but unless you're doing something that's going to stand out as just that community member. And so I took lessons for that too.
Right.
So I made sure, because one thing I do, I take very good notes.
Yes.
I take my copious notes to learn from. Because again, everything is a learning opportunity.
Right.
You know, and I tell people all the time, it's not that I lost, it's I learned. And I learned how to be a better service person. I learned how to be, you know, better when it comes to a multitude of things. And as long as you're continuously learning and pursuing excellence, then hey, you're always winning.
Right. So how long, or what was the road from I'm running for District 8 office, that campaign is over, to now there's this opportunity with the NAACP Long Beach?
So it wasn't much time.
Oh, really?
It was a small break in there.
Okay.
But not a lot of time. And I say that because I think for some time, Naomi was ready to give up the reins.
Naomi is the former president.
Naomi Rainey Pearson. Yes. The queen,
yes.
I will say, because she left this organization in a very good spot. And the foundation, not just from her, but also from the previous leaders, has created a very strong foundation for the NAACP here in Long Beach. And I believe that she was wanting to step back, but sometimes when you've held on to something for 24 years, you got to wait until you are comfortable enough to have the right person who aligns with your vision and values, and who you see is going to maybe take it and catapult it into another positive direction. And I'm so grateful that she instilled her confidence in me, because in this political climate right now, our community members are going to need our branch, and they're going to need our voice, and they're going to need our partnerships with other organizations. One of the things I believe in strongly is collaboration. We have some great organizations here in Long Beach. You got the 100 Black Men, you have NCNW. And one of the things that I was always questioning is, why don't I see all these groups together? Because as you know, one voice is kind of just like a little ruffle.
Yeah.
But you all of a sudden got a team of voices, then the marginalized community's needs are amplified.
Right.
And so that's part of one of my short-term goals, is building that partnership, strengthening that partnership with all of these other groups. And we had an event during Black History Month, and it was such a beautiful scene to see the NAACP table, the 100 Black Men, and NCNW. And I share that picture with people because that's the start of our evolution.
Right.
And how we're all going to stand together, how we're all going to fight together for different things in this community that our marginalized groups are needing.
So when I first, obviously I've been following you since you was running for District 8. And so when I saw that you were becoming president, I was super excited, and I immediately started talking to people. And the overall consensus from people who were probably under 60 was, I didn't know we still had a chapter here in Long Beach. Have you heard the same thing?
I did. I did, from different people.
Okay.
And I was, you know, a little like, whoa, you didn't know we had a chapter here in Long Beach?
Right.
And I said, that's a gap right there.
Right.
That's a little nugget that we can jump on and change the image immediately, right? And get our name out there, be more visible, and to where when people, my vision and my goal is that when people hear NAACP Long Beach branch, people are like, oh yeah, that's the group.
Right.
I want people to just know immediately and know you got an issue, that's who you need to call, because they're going to make sure that they are collaborating with the right groups, the right people, and whatever that issue or concern is, it's going to be amplified enough to where we're going to get some attention.
So again, I'm talking to community. I'm asking people questions. What would you like to see from the NAACP now that you know it's here again? Especially in younger people. And I want to applaud a lot of the young people in Long Beach because I do report on a lot of different things, and people just don't read anymore. So when one young lady specifically, I apologize if you're watching this because I can't remember her name, but she's like, I went to their site and they said they really don't get involved in politics, and in this climate, if they're not getting involved in politics, then what are they doing?
It's not to say, and I've heard that from people, and I do try to clear the air, which is we are nonpartisan.
Okay.
We do not endorse political candidates. That's different than not getting involved.
Right.
That's one of our main things in our mission.
Founded on, right? Yeah,
is to be involved, to make sure that people are going out to vote, and to make sure that we are having an impact on policies and change. So we are definitely involved in order to create change with policies and advocating on our community's behalf. We're having to partner with different political figures at the local level, at the state level. When we go to DC, part of my role, which I'm lucky to have at Ports America, is that I do get to go to Washington, D.C. to advocate for environmental change. And so that ties in also with our community, because we have environmental injustice going on, especially when you're dealing with the West Side and the North Side.
Absolutely.
Right? We have community members who are living 7 to 10 years less than the East Side people. And I live on the North Side. I don't want to have to live less. Right? I'm like, well, but when you're in between the 710, the 405, the 91, and you have truck traffic, you got the freeway traffic, you have less park space.
Right.
So we got a park injustice going on here. These are all things that have to be addressed.
Right.
So the NAACP, we definitely get involved, but we get involved with politics when it comes to advocating for policy change at the legislative level. Yep. As an example, the AB 1154, I just signed a support letter for that, which is going to advocate for change when it comes to education here, specific to California.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So that's an example of how we not only advocate, but we're supporting bills, and we would also, if we're not in support of something, speak out on that as well.
Is this a situation where if, as a journalist, a lot of people reach out to me about different things? One you're probably very familiar with is the discrepancy when it comes to Black students in Long Beach Unified. That's something that I get calls about a lot. So that's obviously something that's on my radar. But also city employees, Black city employees, say they're discriminated against. Do you want to eventually become the entity that they say, you know what, I just feel helpless in this situation. Let me just see what the NAACP has to say about this. Is that a goal, to be the resource that people immediately think of when they're in these situations?
That is definitely our goal.
Okay.
Right. It's the platform and the avenue that people should feel very comfortable in utilizing for us to advocate on their behalf.
Right.
And so that is definitely within our mid to long-term goals.
Yeah. And what is your vision now that you're the president? What is your vision going forward? Short-term 5 years. What's your short-term 10 years goal for the NAACP?
So definitely our short-term goal, number one, is building our membership.
Yes.
Because in order to advocate and to have different expertise, a diverse group of people, with the diverse expertise level, you got to have members. Right. And not just a member who's just necessarily, even though we do accept all memberships, but active. Right. Active, having the same passion of wanting to create this change, right? And this movement of support for, civil rights, social justice, and equity and for all.
Yeah.
But building our membership is number one, and increasing our membership. More so, really recruiting people who want to be active. And then partnerships, building strong partnerships within the community, within organizations, and definitely tapping into our youth.
Yes.
One of our goals that we're working on, and it's hopefully going to come together very fast, is creating a chapter, an NAACP chapter at the LBCC Liberal Arts Campus, because we really need a variety of generations, because there's different injustices among the different generations. Right. We have our baby boomers, we have our Gen Xers, we have our millennials, and so on and so forth. And so really tapping into the youth to get their perspective. I mean, the youth nowadays, they are involved.
Yes.
They have a voice. They want to be active. Right. And sometimes all they want is just a little direction. Yeah. And we have a gentleman named Prince. He is amazing at the LBCC, and he's going to lead that chapter. So we're working through national and with the Board of Trustees at LBCC to get this going. But that is definitely number one with growing our membership and getting that established at the LBCC campus. And then just community engagement, really getting out and just hearing, attending events, talking to community members. Because you have different districts, they got different issues. Right. Right. They don't have the same issues. Some of them are the same, but then there's some that are unique to that specific district. So really getting out and engaging with community members. And so you'll see us out and about. You know, a lot of people, they're like, do we have one? Oh no, you will see us. Yes. You will see us. And we will be attending, you know, in the parades, at the different community. You know, we just had a Black community engagement. Okay. Where they were also conducting a survey and just speaking with community members and just tapping into, did you know that we had these resources? Right. And that's the other thing that I see in my vision, is that I also want people to know that they can reach out to us, look on our website, and we will have connections to various resources that the community members can tap into.
This is exciting, you know, especially for me as a journalist who works in the community. The NAACP is such a pillar in the Black community when you're talking about civil rights. So to know that the NAACP is intentional about taking that next leap, especially with including young people, I think that is such an amazing thing, and the community should definitely be excited. So thank you.
I think they are, and having you as our social media person,
about that.
that has been tremendous, because I have received lots of positive feedback in regards to, oh wow, I see these posts now. I wasn't seeing them before. And it's not to say that they weren't on social media before, but the level of engagement and posting on stories, posting on TikTok, it's tapping into different generations. Absolutely. You and I were speaking about that before, how Facebook, you got an older generation, then you have your TikTok, you know, which has a different generation. You got your Instagram, which has a whole nother group. Yeah. Right. And so you gotta be able to include everyone, and make them feel belonged, to make them want to jump in and start doing some action.
Yeah, and if I can just add on to that, a lot of organizations I've worked with in the past, when they say membership, they really just want you to pay that monthly fee. But to hear that you want them to be active, share their voices, what's going on in your community, I think that is so vital.
And we have so many different committees, and that's what I tell people. I'm like, what are you good at? Right. You know, they're, well, I'm just a veteran. You know what? We got a veterans committee. Yes. Because that's how NAACP can go out. Right. I need your voice. Go talk to other veterans. What do they need us to advocate for on their behalf? There's, well, I'm good at, you know, politics. Great. We got a political committee, you know, and I need people to not just be a chair, but to also be committee members. And when they're out in the community, attending, doing what they do, it's nothing any different. Right. Go do what you do every day. But come back and report to us in your committee report, what can we do to be better to help the community in these specific areas? And right now, I don't have enough active members that are specific to certain committees. So all of my committees are not active. So if I could get people to just tell me what your passion is, and I got a spot for you.
Right.
This is going to be awesome because,
excited for
as we
that.
say, we are better together.
Yes, we are.
And teamwork makes the dream work.
Every
So
single time.
we have to definitely just get them to become members and get them to be active. And it's not doing anything out of the ordinary, because most people in Long Beach, that's what I love about Long Beach, they are involved in some way, shape, or form.
Yes. You see people at different things all the time.
I'm also the vice chair of the Equity and Human Relations Commission, and I sit on multiple boards, and I see, people are active. So why not be active with the NAACP as well?
I love that. All right. So you guys have an assignment. If you are not a member, I want you to check the description, because there's going to be a link where you can go ahead and be a member. There is a tier system for whatever you want to do. You can DM me. You can DM us on our social media platforms. Say, I have this idea, so we can get you involved. But I think that if you are nervous about this climate, this is your time to really get involved with an organization that has a history of moving the needle.
Yes, 100%. And we can't ask for anything more than just to come on and join. And we're also going to be putting on our Freedom Fund Gala this year.
I'm excited about that.
Yes. I heard Naomi, she put on the best balls. So, I got some big shoes to fill, but we are bringing it back. It's our 85th year this year for the NAACP Long Beach branch, because Ernest McBride, he started this back in 1940. Woo! Ernest McBride Sr., yes. He was huge, civil rights, labor organizer, and it's the 85th year. So it was a big year having a new president, being the 85th year. And so our executive committee is like, we have to do the gala this year. So it will be on October the 11th.
Okay.
On the Queen herself, the Queen Mary.
Get dressed in fancy dress. I can't wait.
Dress fancy. And one of the requirements is that there will be some dancing.
Oh, listen.
We will have a dance floor.
We're going to cut a rug.
Yes.
And this is what we want. We want people to, get out and do the work, but have a good time too. And that's so...
Hey, my motto is always work hard, but play harder.
I love that.
You got to always make sure that you can smile and have fun, and because that positivity and good energy, that feeds to the community.
It does.
Right? And eliminates the hate that, a lot of people are starting to see.
Yeah.
We're better than that in Long Beach.
Definitely.
And so we are going to work together to really bring that to light, all while tackling any social injustice, any economic disparities, housing. Those are all things that we want to tackle within even just coming up with our strategic plan for our short term, so that when we're focusing on our midterm and long-term goals, those are things that we will have people in place, because we have grown our membership. We will have people sitting on committees, so that when issues come up, they can properly be addressed and attacked and hopefully ratified. And meetings, right? So when are our meetings? That's important. We have, it was voted upon that some people really wanted them in person. And some people are getting very used to the online. Yes. So what we all agreed to is the first 2 months of a quarter, they are the third Thursday at 7 p.m. and they're virtual.
Okay.
And then the third month of the quarter, so March, June, so on and so on, they are hybrid.
Okay.
And so they are in person at Long Beach City College. And we also have the Zoom feature so that people can still log in.
Nice.
Because there's some people, they just can't make it. And I did not want to exclude them, because I want to hear their voice as well. So I would love for people to join. Before you join, if you want to attend a meeting, please do. May 15th, 7 p.m. It will be virtual, so people can join in. And it's really important to attend the meetings to, one, hear about what we are doing in the community.
Right.
Or you offer a suggestion and highlight, hey, you should really probably attend this.
Right.
And then it brings to light things that we maybe have missed and need to be at. Or if there's any issues or concerns, and just to hear our updates and what's going on and what our plan is for the next few months.
So May's virtual, June isn't hybrid. So you
Hybrid.
can come, that'd be great.
Yes.
So people can come, get to know you, say hi in person if they want
Absolutely.
to. That's
Absolutely.
fantastic. All right, so we're gonna make sure that if you're following us on our social media, which is NAACP LBC on all social media platforms, we're gonna make sure you know all of those dates. I love in person because when you can look people face to face, you build that rapport a little bit faster.
Yeah.
So, but I'm still going to encourage you to come to the one virtually on May 15th,
May 15th.
because that way you can hear, and then if you have questions you can ask them before you become a member. But the goal is become a member, because I do think it is important, especially now in this climate, for us to latch on to each other, support one another. And this is an organization that traditionally has guided the way. That's not to say you can't be involved with other organizations, but the history and the legacy is there. So this is where we all need to be and really kind of circle the wagons here. So thank you, Dr. Sharifa, for being on the return of the Jackie Rae Show.
The Jackie Rae Show.
She's
Thank
back.
you for having me. I really appreciate
Yeah,
it.
no, this is great. She's a lot of fun. So make sure you come out to that one in June, and definitely prepare for that gala, because I can't wait to see you cut a rug.
Oh,
I
yeah.
cannot
Hey, me
wait.
and my mom on the floor. Let me tell you.
Yes. All right. Don't forget to make sure you subscribe, share this with a friend, prepare to become a member, and don't forget, life is short, so make it good. We'll see you next time.